Just as we believe in the First Amendment, we also believe in another constitutional right that is under siege all across our country. So long as I am president, I will always protect your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. In reaffirming our heritage as a free nation.
The voice you heard there was Fred Guttenberg, the father of Parkland shooting victim Jamie. During last week's State of the Union, he was later removed from the chamber after that moment. He's asking, what about my daughter? Today marks the heartbreaking 2-year anniversary, if you can believe it, since 17 people were murdered in that mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, including Fred's 14-year-old daughter, Jamie. He joins us now once again. And so, Fred, I'll ask you to try and answer the question. I'm worried there won't be one, but what about your daughter? Is anyone hearing you?
You know, Mika, 100% people are. What happened at the State of the Union, in a crazy way, left me unbelievably inspired by the reality that people are hearing me. Because the next day, people across this country were talking about gun violence because of what happened. People across this country were talking about supporting me or other victims of gun violence because of what happened. You know, listen, 2 years ago, from this very hour, my daughter was still alive. 2 years ago from this very hour, I was planning our Valentine's Day for that evening. And so while our president may stand on a stage and be the megaphone for the gun lobby, which is what he was doing that night, those of us, 90% of this country who says they want to do more, who are voting for people who are going to do more, leave me inspired about where we're going in the future, not pessimistic. Today is a day that many people are going to celebrate love. My advice to everybody today is don't make today a special day about celebrating love. Do it every chance you get. Tell those who you love how much you love them. Look them in the eye as if it could be the very last time. And then promise me you're going to show up at the polls and you're going to vote for Jamie and all the other victims of gun violence.
Voting for Jamie. Let's talk about Jamie. She's 14. She's so beautiful, so vibrant and joyful.
She was.
What are the memories that flow through your mind when you're going through the day and making your way to Washington and around the country to talk about this? What are the memories that stay with you?
You know, well, there's memories of Jamie in life, and then there's also Jamie's last minute. Jamie's laughter, Jamie's silliness, Jamie's toughness, Jamie's smile. It's in my head. It never leaves there. But it's also been joined by Jamie's last minute. And I can't get out of my head thinking about what my daughter felt in that last minute, knowing she was running for her life from an active shooter, and wondering, did she know it when she was shot? Did she suffer even for a second? And because I don't know what my daughter felt, I will never stop fighting to keep somebody else from having that pain in their heart that I have today. Listen, my daughter is with me every second of every day going forward. It took me a while to get to a place where I could say this. Jamie was not my daughter. Jamie is my daughter. I can't think of it in the past tense. I am still a father of 2 children, always reacting to what happened to my one child. Actually happened to both my children. Thank God one of them came home. And I am a father who will never stop being able to do this, because there's too many Americans who are being affected by what happened to me as well. And together, we need to beat this lobby, we need to show Americans their rights to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness are worth the fight. And we're going to get this done.
So we have just a few moments left in the show, and I'm going to give them to you. What would you like to say to viewers out there who perhaps don't think enough about what it would be like to have a child that had a last moment like that?
You know, as a dad, I had all the normal dreams that a dad of two would have. And they weren't the same for each of my kids. For Jamie, I dreamt about her first boyfriend and what I would do and the kind of harassment that I would have with her and her first boyfriend. You know, it was my right. I dreamt about teaching her to drive. I dreamt about her graduating, getting her first job. Jamie knew exactly what she wanted to do when she grew up. She was going to be a pediatric physical therapist. She actually wanted to work in a place called the Paley Institute, where they do surgeries on children with limb deformities. It was her dream to help somebody walk. She wanted to be married by the time she was 25. And I dreamt of walking my child down the aisle and being a grandparent to her children. And so what I want to tell everybody in my last minute, every single person you love, think about what it would be to think of them in only memories and not be able to live your dreams with that person. And understand why I do what I do today, and understand why the life of those you love is worth the fight. And join me and get out there and vote. And fire Mitch McConnell from this Senate, because he refuses to pass the legislation that is already sitting there waiting to go to the president for a signature, and he won't let it happen. He has chosen to stand idly by. And so join me as we work to defeat him, because my family's life is worth it, and so is yours.
Fred Guttenberg, thank you so much for using your voice, and we hope to have you back on the show again soon. Thank you so much.
Mika, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right. And that is where we leave things for the week. It's been quite a week, but I'm hoping everybody takes a look at that interview, maybe watches it again, and looks at what they have and what they might be able to do as well. That does it for us this morning.